Hello, this is my mom, Linda.
Hi, good afternoon.
And today we're gonna make my great-grandmother and your grandmother's recipe, Grandma Jewel from, Texas. She's originally from Virginia. We got a picture of her. This is when she's like, what, 13? Really young? How old do you think she was?
Yeah, about 13.
And this is when she's a little bit older, when my mom remembers her cooking these dishes. So this is Grandma Jewel. She spent her last days in Texas, and she had 5 girls, and she had chickens and a garden, and she loved to cook, kind of like Southern style. Like my mom said, she would have, she just was kind of a holistic cook before that was a thing, but I think a lot of our grandparents were. And so kind of the point on that is that, you know, when we're kind of picky and picking all this organic stuff, it's like, it really is how people used to eat, but it's just a little bit more tricky to navigate in today's world.
And their food was mostly raised on their garden scraps, like their chickens and their pigs. So you didn't have to worry about buying organic then because it already was.
Yeah.
And so she would have a can of lard from cooking her bacon on the back of her stove, and she'd scoop that out and put it in the fry pan and get it real hot, and put her chicken in there for fried chicken, and it was the best ever. And then she would make these salmon croquettes, which was quick and easy and so delicious.
Yeah, so we're gonna make salmon croquettes today, and we made it into a little meal. We actually were trying to find okra, but they didn't have it at the store. So we switched, and we're gonna do Brussels sprouts. So we're just gonna show you a quick little easy meal, and we hope that this inspires you to maybe take some of your family meals and kind of clean them up and make them slightly healthier. So we'll show you what we're gonna do. So we're gonna start with the salmon croquettes.
Okay.
So we've got salmon. So look for wild salmon. This is sustainably caught wild salmon, but wild being the most important thing. Oh,
we didn't drain it yet.
We didn't drain it yet. Okay, so first step is take your salmon. These sometimes come in double the size, like a taller container. So we're gonna use 4 of these. Yep. Drain it. Try not to step in the salmon juice on the floor. And hold it over the sink.
Oh, really?
I'll give that to you.
Okay.
I'll open the rest of them.
And when Rachel was little, she loved to pick out these bones, the little back bones from the salmon that are in the canned salmon. And they're real soft and chewy and full of calcium.
They're really good.
Yeah, they're really good.
I still do. Okay, so we're doing 4 of these, or you can do 2 of the large one. And this will be, I'm not sure how many exact salmon croquettes. Probably
about 10 to 12.
Okay. So this would be good for like a family of 4 for one meal. We're gonna make this batch and then save them, but they're probably better. They're probably best fresh because they are kind of like a fried situation. So while she gets that going, we're gonna put.
I'm just chunking up the salmon.
Yeah. Okay. And then we're gonna put the oil in the skillet. So you could either use like a cast iron on the stovetop, or we have this little, what do you call this thing?
Electric skillet.
Okay, electric skillet.
Very popular back in the 60s, 70s.
And then we got avocado oil because it's a good high heat oil, and better than, well, like, what did she use?
480 smoke point. I want to say she used like a vegetable oil.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we're just kind of using this because it's a flavor-free option for an oil.
And our patties are going to be about this big around and about a ½ inch thick. So we want to put enough oil in our skillet to come up about a halfway point on the salmon croquette, because we're going to cook them on one side and then flip them over.
Okay. So you tell me when to stop.
Okay, more. You want about a ½ inch.
Okay. Probably this whole thing.
Yeah, it could be.
So if you don't want to use this much oil,
Yeah.
because this will get expensive, then you could just use a smaller pan, and then it won't take so much of your oil, and then you can just do it in rounds. But we're just going for it today.
So we're going to put in 2 eggs, 1 for each. So usually I use a can of salmon. What would that be? Like a 10 ounce, 12 ounce?
I told them it was like double this.
Yeah, double that. So 1 egg for 2 of these small cans, or 1 egg per larger, like a soup can size.
So we're gonna do.
So we're going to do 2 eggs.
Oh, sorry, I didn't see this one.
Oh, I didn't either.
Sitting here. Okay.
No worries.
Oh, that means there's more backbones to pick out. Yeah, so it's a super simple recipe. So it's just the salmon, the eggs, and then crackers. So my mom doesn't do gluten, so we got some gluten-free. They're made of like rice, I think, and quinoa crackers. And it's just those 3 ingredients, right?
Correct.
And then the oil, of course. So super simple. And then we're gonna take the. Did you find them? Are you gonna eat it?
Mom likes like bones too.
They're so good.
Okay, so you want to put your 2 eggs in there?
And salmon is rich in vitamin D,
Omega oils.
omega-3s.
Mm-hmm.
But it's a good food source of vitamin 3, and I'm sorry, vitamin D. And it's like it's over a full day's worth of your vitamin D intake in 1 serving of salmon.
Wow, didn't know.
Let's show them how we do these.
Okay, so normally I would be taking a rolling pin, because all good grandmas had a rolling pin to roll out their pastries and their pie dough. So we don't have that right now, so we're going to use this. I'm not sure what this is.
We don't know what that is, but we couldn't find the rolling pin. We're in my mom's kitchen right now.
You want it crunch on
And
these crackers till
we
they're
don't know
pretty
what
fine.
things. Okay, and so you can do this. You could roll it. You could also put it in a Ziploc and do it that way, so it doesn't get everywhere. We just used wax paper and this baking sheet so that the crumbs don't get all over the place. Okay, and then in the meantime, I have Brussels sprouts and grits going. So I did.
This is too
Did you keep it down back there? And the oil's heating up, right? Should we turn this on?
Yeah, I was going to put it on 350.
Okay, so we're gonna put that on 350, or what would you say on the stove? Like a medium high?
Medium high. You want to cook it hot and fast, and it's not a real thick patty, so you're going to be able to do that. Get it thoroughly, because the salmon is pre-cooked. I mean, you could just eat it like this.
Yeah.
So we don't need to like really cook it thoroughly all the way through, but we want it nice and hot.
Okay.
And crispy.
Oh, and we're wearing our Grandma Jewel's
Oh,
aprons.
she sewed these on her sewing machine, and she cross-stitched them, little stitches.
So cute.
Which is kind of her trademark.
So cute. Okay, so then this would be an easy meal you can make for dinner, super quick. So these are grits, and grits or polenta is just a nice other starch to have in your repertoire. Super neutral tasting. So I did this with 2 cups milk, 1.5 cups of water, a cup of grits, and a little salt, and then we'll maybe add some Parmesan also. So that's
the other
just
thing about
going.
grits, magic thing, is that they can go sweet or savory. This could be like a breakfast cereal, and you can put brown sugar, a little butter in it, honey, whatever your sweetener of choice.
Delicious.
Or you can go savory and do salt and pepper. And
Okay, and then I also have Brussels sprouts going. So I'm steaming them, and then I'm gonna put them in the oven. So I'm actually gonna take these out right now and put them on a baking sheet. I've just been liking doing this. You could do it all on a baking sheet, but I like it this way because they get really nice and cooked through before you crispy them up. So I'm gonna put them on the baking sheet right now. And just something to note about Brussels sprouts. Brussels sprouts are a cruciferous vegetable. So that stands for cruciferae, which is Latin for cross-bearing. Because
like
they have
the crucifix.
Yeah, it is.
Yes.
So like they actually kind of have, you'll see cruciferous veggies, like cauliflower and broccoli are ones too. They have this down the middle, and then so it just refers to that pattern. But What?
More eggs.
Or eggs. So 2 eggs. So what's great about cruciferous veggies is that they are sulfur rich, and they're also rich in vitamins A, C, and K, and they have lots of fiber. But they're great. They're known for like their cancer fighting properties. So other cruciferous veggies would be arugula, broccoli, cauliflower, bok choy, that whole family. So if you have like cancer that runs in your family, definitely make sure you're getting lots of cruciferous veggies. I mean, we all should be, because cancer's everywhere these days and we don't want it.
I ended up putting 3 eggs in here just to show you that you can, like, it's not something you have to measure out perfectly.
Okay.
The egg is in there pretty much as a binder to keep the salmon patties from falling apart when you're cooking them. So, you know, it's like, you know, when you cook an egg, it gets solid and it holds things together.
Yeah.
So, you know, I'm just thinking this is a lot of salmon,
Yeah.
and just gonna
So kind of make sure it's
throughout.
binding. That looks good.
Yeah,
Okay.
that's perfect.
And so I'm going to take the Brussels sprouts off the steam and onto the baking sheet. And if you had like a oven safe pan, like a cast iron, you could do it all in that. You could just start it on the stove top and put a little water in and steam them, put a top on. And then as that water evaporates, maybe put a little like oil in there and a little salt and pepper, and then just put it into the oven so that they can get that nice crispy brown. So I put the oven on 430, and that's what I'm going to do for the Brussels sprouts.
Another thing that we're not doing, just as a shortcut, we could make some really good homemade tartar sauce.
Ooh.
Or you can buy your favorite tartar sauce and have lemons, which we have, to squeeze over the salmon cakes, just because like any seafood's good with some lemon on it.
That sounds
And
good.
a nice dipping sauce.
Good idea.
Yeah.
And then with any vegetables that you steam, you can't cook out minerals, but you can cook out vitamins. So with the steaming, if those minerals get into the water, then you're just gonna end up throwing them away. So to prevent that, you don't want your vegetables touching the water when you steam them. So just put a little bit less water than usual.
This makes a better rolling pin.
That works. And then so I'm gonna spray these Brussels sprouts with a little avocado oil spray. Having the fat on there just makes them get that crispy brown a little bit better. And then I'm gonna put them in the oven. Do a little salt also. And the reason I do the parchment is so that they don't touch the aluminum of the baking sheet. And I also like to try to face them down so they get that crispiness.
I'm going to use my little trick of getting some water drops on my hands, and for that oil is ready to go. So we don't want it to burn, so we're going to get our croquettes in there. So I crunch that up with my fake rolling pin till it's pretty fine. Like these down here are getting good. These need a little bit more work, but you just want them to stick to the salmon patty. So you take your hands that are clean and you flatten it out and kind of round it out. So that's kind of a bigger one than usual. And you know, you can make them round, you can make them oblong.
Okay.
And I kind of roll them in that like that so I can get the sides coated as well. And then be careful you